All right, y'all. It's saying 1 in a million. You the best I ever had when I was making this video up. And I was shuffling the cards and I seen the High Priestess come out. So I definitely know what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's get into this Orisha spread. We're going to be using the Orisha's Hero deck. And we're going to be killing it. And I'm going to take one more palm. This Hermit card keep coming out. With this rebirth. All right, so we'll definitely watch the last message I had. All right, the wheel. Yo, all right, bet. All right, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to actually read the Wheel of Fortune card to you. Because I want to remember the story. I remember the Nine of Swords. I'm going to read them all. There ain't nothing better. No, there ain't nothing better than me. Ain't nothing better than me, baby. This card points at some of the mechanisms underpinning creation. It is the cycle card speaking of how we move through a variety of states as we live, but in the end, return to where we were. If we are at the top, we might lose status, but if we are diligent, our turn on top can come back around. On a deeper level, it can speak of karma and the things we carry with us between the world. Ashumeri is the Orisha who carries us across the divides between the spirit world and this one. In part, they are seen as a bridge. They also play a part in helping the soul reincarnate and return to Orun, heaven. One of their primary symbols is the rainbow. On a more day-to-day level, it is said that the Ashmeri brings a renewal of life for those they bless. When seen after a storm, rainbows are often considered a blessing. Ashumeri's history in Cuba mirrors their nature of coming and going. Their secrets were largely lost in Cuba, likely due to the lack of priests of their cult being brought there. Yet in Brazil, their secrets were preserved and carried forward. As world travel has often opened up, some brought this initiation back to Cuba. The rainbow as the promise of better things to come. A snake as the idea of shedding one's skin but remaining the same. 3 points on the wheel as the passing of time. When this card shows up, whatever question you are reading for needs to be explored on 2 levels. On the immediate level, there are changes going on that need to be addressed. How the person navigates them will determine how much they gain or lose in the near future. They should consider carefully what choices bring more opportunity and go in that direction. On a deeper level, the person is dealing with something that people might be inclined to call karma. Their life is defined by the consequences of both their action and the baggage they are carrying. They are vulnerable to negative thoughts, ideas, and histories they are still carrying forward. They may even be their own worst enemy without knowing it. It is important with this card to never let your ego suggest you have made it. No matter the success you have today, things are always in motion at one time. Newspapers were a great business and the empires were built with them. With the internet age, their future is uncertain. Vinyl was cutting edge at one point, lost all value for a long time, and now has returned as a cool way to listen to music. Things change without end, the start of new cycles, growth and possibilities. It's time to harvest wisdom, but putting all the pieces together to see the big picture. Radical change is one good, and if you have nothing to lose. Pray for renewal, make offerings to the ancestors, and look at the big picture of your life. Do not do what didn't work in the past. Do not burn bridges. Child. So the wheel is spinning in your energy right now, but don't think you made it like at the same time. Like even though the wheel is spinning in your energy, like it's telling you to like be humble in this energy or whatever, like, and stay focused and diligent on the wisdom of how to keep your abundance. And the next card was the Nine of Swords and the problem of the reading. And I really like the Nine of Swords card because the Nine of Swords card is about swords falling from the sky. So in this story or whatever, this card, I'm going to read it to you exactly how it goes. The card might be said to embody fear and anxiety. It is a card where we worry deeply about what is going on and suffer because of it. It is a card that can lead to depression if not handled properly. One day, Oliphant, the avatar of the creator that comes to Earth, walked into a town and started talking to people who lived there. He warned them that the following day, knives, swords, and weapons would fall like rain. Many people became very afraid, so the next day everyone stayed inside except for a few who went out to gather this strange rain. A few days later, Oliphant returned and told people that a rain of gold was coming. This time, people rejoiced, and when the gold fell from the sky, the villagers came out to gather it. And the ones who had collected the weapons came armed and took everything. Often when we receive messages of news, we add interpretations to them that cause us problem. If we can keep our feelings in check, we might find opportunity during times that others find intimidating. Even so, we must proceed with caution. It is better to wait for the sword to land than to try and catch them as they fall. It is better to wait for the There we go. There we go. We back. We back. And I hope y'all can hear me. Anyway, my phone started ringing. So as I was saying, the it's better to wait for swords. It's better to wait for swords that land than to try to catch them as they fall. So this is something about the sword or whatever, and it's basically about going about something smart and wisely. So when I said that the card, the situation was the Wheel of Fortune or whatever, like that was the answer to whatever question or whatever guided you to this message. The wheel is spinning, and it can spin in your favor, but it's important that you be humble in the process of catching it when the wheel spins. So it says the symbolism is a person at the door deciding what to do. The sword falls from the sky to bring fear or power. Other houses are shuttered, choosing safety first. Not everything that looks good or is something we can benefit from. Not everything that is threatening is bad, so as long as we handle it right. When this card shows up, we must exercise caution in our relationships, lest they leave us with nothing. News that provokes anxiety and fear, blessings that come from loss, arguments and conflict with neighbors and coworkers. A big harvest as reward for brave action. Listen to good advice. Do not act from a place of fear. Be ready for those who would take by force. So whatever like that's coming in or whatever, it's going to be people who want to take that shit from you. You can't allow them to take it from you. You're going to have to be smart enough to plan so smart in advance that, and this is what I'm talking about, like the time now. So, okay, let's say you plan on being the best pot maker. We're going to make random, like you want to make random vases or whatever. So say if you want to be the best vase maker, you need to plan all your actions out. Plan out for flaws, plan out for everything, plan for everything, plan in advance, plan. Because right now it's telling me whatever you're doing and putting your work in the process, the wheel is about to spin in your favor. But if you don't put systems in process and be humble and learn how to have the wisdom to keep everything, it seems to me like, listen, I was watching a message yesterday and it was talking about how things can suddenly start to change graphically, like very fast. And then the blessing at the blessing at the blessing. But then I also was watching something a couple weeks ago and it was talking about how the wisdom, once you manifest, like say love, abundance, or a career or dream or whatever you choosing to manifest, let's say the vase business, you need to have the wisdom to keep it and the peace of how to live with what it takes for it to keep it. You get what I'm saying? So you need to like definitely like focus on having it or whatever, because people gonna be spying. And you need to be spying first on your counter, on risk management, shall I say. All right, so now the next situation or whatever is the hermit. The hermit is lurking or whatever, or maybe you the hermit. All right, and that's the card that comes right before the fortune. Also a 9. This is the year of a 9, so that's dope. Let's hear it. Hermits are known for possessing wisdom, learning, and solitude. They tend to spend time in remote places connecting with spirit and seeking knowledge and understanding. Historically, in Cuba, there has been a tension between the practice in Havana, the city, and the El Campo. I like to say the hermit too because I call myself the hermit's daughter because my mom's a Virgo. So I like to always call myself the hermit daughter. They tend to speak time to remote places and connecting with spirit and seeking knowledge and understanding. Historically in Cuba, excuse me, I'm sorry I ain't pull the card up for you guys. Historically in Cuba, there has been a tension between the practices in Havana, the city, and the El Campo, the countryside. There is a famous case of one priest who was forced to be initiated again so that he might be respected in Havana. The Orisha came as his reconsecration, so he was given the name Abadamaji, the one who was crowned twice. The tension in this situation was about both tradition and politics. In modern times, one of the big challenges the religion faced is the invention of the new ceremonies in order to profit from the flocking to have the latest initiation. Many of these fake ceremonies are said to have been found in the country and are restoring the odd and true and lost ways of doing things. In this card, we find a hermit emerging from the woods in some remote area. They carry a staff used to honor the ancestors. Their practice is private and personal. They hide away their knowledge so that only the faithful can engage with it. So, with that being said, let's get it. Basically, you need to hide away your knowledge. Like, you need to hide the knowledge of what you got going on or whatever, of how you about to do it. And this card, when you see this card, right, they about to highlight when they show this, show the symbolism. Oh, the 9 just flipped again. Like, something about you need to flip the script. Hold on. Let me read the symbolism real quick. Let me explain it. So you got Egun, the ancestor staff with the legitimacy of lineage, right? That's the first thing you see. Egun and the staff, right? And then you got a glowing pot containing the mysteries which they keep. That's the pot right there. And then the woods is a remote place of power. So this is where he does all his manifesting or whatever. Maybe you need to get in touch with nature or whatever to, like, you know what I mean, go to the woods. The house on the hill symbolizing the need for connection before engaging with spirit. You see that? He needs the house on the hill symbolizing a need for connection before he engaged with spirit. So he needs to make a connection before they engage with spirit. So something about this, All right, I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna tell you what I'm hearing. So then it says, here we find the duality of seeking the transmitting wisdom. Both student and the teacher must assess who they are dealing with in order to avoid falling for unscrumptious motives. Yet ultimately it is the only through the dedication to spirit itself that the mysteries have any power. Tradition is a word that many people throw around to put an end to people questioning them. However, in Orisha practices, we are talking about family and regional practices that vary greatly across time and geography. An Orisha might be male in one place and female in another. Neither belief is wrong if you are working within the lineage. Yet people want a homogenized tradition to which they can defer. An oral tradition though there is no book to refer to or no central holder of the truth, so we must proceed with caution. In learning to walk our path, it can be hard to know where to look. Of course, there are many public teachers, but it is not obvious whether they are devout political, or seeking only profit. And this obligation of the seeker to make sure they honor both the elder from which they learn that which they know to be true. A need for reflection, an unusual teacher, a hidden opportunity. It is through genuine relationships with people that they will find what you want. Travel for new opportunities. Go to the woods and pray and honor your ancestors first. Be wary of groups of people. All right. All right. So look, the first card that came out was the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune was all about the reincarnation, going into a new world or whatever. Even though, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is not the real card, but it's about going the bringing of the old world into the new world or whatever. This card in the problem area of the reading was about swords falling from the sky. Swords falling from the sky and also gold from the sky. But this is the problem section. Swords will fall from the sky or whatever. And if you don't keep your cover and wait, remember how when I made emphasis on the portion of the reading, when I said that when the swords fall from the sky or whatever, you need to wait in order, excuse me, they don't want me to say. You need to wait until after the swords fall and then go collect. You don't wait. You don't go out there while swords are falling from the sky and people are going on BS or drama and stuff like that. Like, no matter how abundant it is or whatever. I see the grass is green out there or whatever. But at the same time, look, you can see the grass is green out there or whatever, but it ain't green enough or whatever for you to just let swords fall from the sky. Who's to say that they won't fall on the path that you walk? You get what I'm saying? So you should hold your pace or whatever. Like, stay true into what you're doing. Just because the wheel spins doesn't mean that a fortune might come. But the outcome of this is the 4 wands. So that means that it is a good thing or whatever. If you're not outside trying to catch swords or whatever with on BS or whatever, and you just actually allow yourself to catch the swords when the rain is done. And maybe you come outside when the gold falls from the sky and you catch your gold and you have your swords and your weapons that fell from the sky to defend your place. If you understand the story, you understand the story. But basically it's saying that when the wheel turns for you or whatever, if the problem is stuff coming through like air energies or whatever coming out or whatever, you need to like hold back, be in your hermit energy, fall back, study or whatever. And then when it's time to make the connection or whatever, you willing to walk the field of abundance. Like, and when you see this hermit card that's over top of him or whatever, the difference in this card and the difference in this card, look at it. This is how you get over this card. Over, remember, is on top of it. So you see the person who's hiding in the woods or whatever, waiting or whatever, they already got their fortune or whatever, and he got a staff or whatever. So it lets you know, shoot, it might even be a sword over there or whatever, because you see something silver in the glow. But this person has waited. He's waiting, even like he's letting all of that even go away. You see how it's even the turmoil of it all. They both 9 cards or whatever. So it's your chance. But you can't go out there just charging off at a lot of things. Say people hitting you up, starting drama, all that stuff. You can't entertain none of that stuff right now. You gotta stay focused on the prize. And look at these cards. Those cards is over top of each other, but these cards is beside each other. If this is the situation, the Wheel of Fortune, then the 4 wands is the outcome. That means that, remember how everything was mixed up before? Everything now is separating and is properly aligning. I love the 4 wands. I don't know what the 4 swords, why I say the 4 swords. You better not be out there collecting swords that fell from the sky. You better not be out there beefing and doing weird stuff when you don't have to. That's not something you don't have to do. Like, wait for the gold, bro. Wait for your time to do what you're supposed to do. All right, the 4 of Wands is a card of something ending and a new order being established. And it is the completion of a cycle, or provides the opportunity, evolution before the new cycle starts again. In the dysphoria, the Orisha tradition adapted to the environment or situation that slavery enforced on practitioners in West Africa. It is common for priests to only receive their Orisha or a few others, while in Cuba it became the practice to give everyone the four pillars, Obatala, Shango, Oshun, or Yamiya. This was done in part out of the need to preserve their spirits among more people so they could be sure to be passed on. Symbolism: four colors for the four Orishas: white for Obatala, red for Shango, yellow for Oshun, and blue for Yamiya. Obatala's staff giving him authority as the creation and present and representative on earth. Shango acts with which he dispenses justice. Oshun's or with which she helps life move forward. And Yamiya's anchor, symbolizing her ability for stability, to bring stability. So you got the Obatala staff, the white. You got Shango X. You got Oshun's or, and the anchor. It says that this card brings closure and the possibility for new beginnings. Right now, it is time for setting up. It's time for setting up the structure that will support the next era of your life. Yes, so often when this card comes up in the reading, the person is only focused on the end and at best dreaming of the future. Something is coming to a conclusion. You are reaching the end of plan. What's next? How many allies have you got helping support you? Exobatala for cool head, Shango for the drive to bring to get things done, and Oshun for the charm to win people over, and Yamiya for the inner stability to keep showing up. Make a new plan, take a white bath to refresh yourself and clean your spirits and shrine. All right, so it's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, all right, you already manifested everything you wanted. It's coming to you, yo. It's yours. You are one in a million. You are her. You are him. You are that person. You are spiritually divine. You are on your path to being who you want to be. You need to make sure that you're not out there collecting BS or participating in unstructured businesses or setting yourself up or doing bad business deals right now, because the abundance, the skies will rain abundance or whatever. And you also need to make sure that you got your business and your structure in place properly, because when this wheel is spinning, it's spinning in your way. But if your business and your finances and stuff is not structured properly or whatever, like while you sitting here actually making your plans or whatever, make sure that you go get your stuff in order with your team. Excuse me, let me calm down so I can think properly. You need to make sure you got a team. You need to make sure that your LLC and stuff is set up. You need to make sure your EIN is set up. If you're a veteran, your LLC is free. If your EIN is free regardless, you can go right on your state websites and file for your LLC. If you need your EIN, you need to go on irs.gov and scroll down the page. It's on there where you can apply for your EIN completely free. You can get your EIN right now completely free and start using your business and structuring it until you can afford, maybe get the whatever your filing fees in your city is or whatever. And then you can follow the steps on YouTube to have your stuff set up. You can also follow the steps on YouTube to help you set up your website or whatever. If all your stuff is already set up, make sure that you're updating your stuff. I know that just even getting this reading or whatever, I want to claim some of this energy for myself. So I'm going to make sure that I have some things that I need to organize a little bit more, and I'm going to do it as well. I want y'all to really focus on really getting like things where you need them to be, because this is the cards right here. I hope y'all can see that. Let me move it over. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't even know I could put me in here. All right, so if that's the whole overall outcome, like it's 2 9s in the middle, is a 10 and a 4. So I look at 10s as completion. Like you completed like setting up the guidance of, you completed setting up the beginning half of this business or this idea that you have been putting in place. Like, so the Wheel of Fortune has spun. This problem is you need to make sure that your business is structured properly, so that way when the fortune is about to drop from the sky or whatever, you're covered. You need to make sure that you are really getting things. And even if the things you can't afford or whatever, you need to make sure that the things you can afford, you have an understanding of what you need to do to get them. And the things that you can afford, you already have attained them. What I'm saying is, people charge people in business because they need to think for them. Make sure that you have done your thinking fully for yourself before you have to pay people to think for you, because those same people will come rob you for your fortune, and you'll be looking at them like you did you wrong, but they didn't do you wrong. You just honestly didn't take the time to invest in what your investment was. It's a good reading, y'all. The 4 of Wands at the end. You got 2 9s. Okay, so then you got you got 2 9s. The 9 card or whatever is like the rebirth. Is the rebirth, is the start. Is the end of something, but the start of something new. You got the actual cipher card, the actual birth, the one, the knowledge. Like, so you got the knowledge, you went through the journey of obtaining all the proper knowledge. And then you got the 9 as the problem. Like right now, is going from the 9 to the 10. So it's like, and then being in the culture, like being in the actual environment, the celebrityism, the knownness of your product or your brand or whatever, getting out there. That's the 4. So it's nice. It's like, hey, you understand, you have a full understanding of what you have going on. Make sure you have a full actual understanding though. 9 plus 9, 18. 28, love that number. That's 10. And then 4, so then you got 32. So that's 5, that's power. That's a good card. You had death under it, rebirth. Yeah, that's, I mean, I can't even fake nothing about this joint, bro. This is exactly like, this is on the money. What's the 5? I forget what the 5 is. This is crazy. The 4 is the 6 is the lovers. The Hierophant. Bro, I'm telling you, yo. All right, so it's either a relationship or it's like literally, it's either a relationship or a business. I think it's both, man. Because you got everything out here. Like the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a couple signs. A lot of signs. And then you got the Swords out here. You got the Wands. And then you got Earth sign out here. But then you got the Hierophant. So this is business. But it could be. It says the Hierophant is the overall energy of everything. So it says, in this card, we meet the creator representative on Earth. They have the experience and wisdom to pass the mysteries into which they have been initiated. Though they may offer help and blessings to anyone in need. Oh yeah, here's the cards, y'all. Sorry about that. Though they may offer help and wisdom to everybody in need, only the worthy are given their secrets. In older decks, this card is known as the Pope, and it highlights the meaning of God's chosen representative on Earth. Orula was a master diviner. People came from all over to see him for his accuracy, wisdom, and solutions. Every day as he divined, his wife Oshun watched. When the call came from a neighboring town for his service, Orula left to help. The next day, when people started showing at their home, looking for Orula to help them, Oshun offered to read for them. Having secretly learned all of Orula's knowledge by watching, she was a profound and capable reader. When Orula returned from his trip, he was furious at Oshun. He created a new tool, the Ikule, or the diviner chain, whose magic only worked for men. Thus, he gave Oshun the cowrie shells to divine with, but prohibited her from divining in the house where his Ifa oracles lived. In this story, we run into the complexity of different paths for receiving initiation in the past of the priests of the Orula and those of the other Orishas, and work together, each group having its own specialty and skill. When one needs the other, they work together to help whoever needed it. In the last century, this relationship has been strained and many places fallen apart. The legacy of patriarchy, money, and human greed has encouraged people to abandon this interdependent history so that the individuals can feel more important. Oshun standing outside the house holding her straw tray and cowries for divining. Orula standing inside the house with his diviner chain arising from his mind like a halo. This person seeks to be wise and have great spiritual skills. They certainly have potential. How they handle their relationship with those who own the mysteries they want to access will determine a lot. Neither Oshun nor Arula act with honesty and trust in this story. The person getting this reading needs to find a balance between their desires and the rules in front of them. This card is said to represent institutions also. In the modern age, large companies and government agencies often play more of the role in people's lives than the church. Such institutions can dispense help and support or withhold it. Though navigating these in the history as simple as following the rules, the rules are often contradictory and impossible. A return to studies, large organization which must work to find our way through, sexism as an obstacle to progress, a person who knows much does not want to share, people who will take what you have if given a chance, a goal which requires a lot of sacrifice, keeping your ego in check, divine study, be honest above reproach, be honest and above reproach, and pray to Oshun and Arula. All right. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, yeah, yeah. Y'all, it's like that. Like, it's nothing I can say. Like, honestly, whatever you working on, like I said, you did it. Like, you did it. You manifested. Like, it's here. It's here. It's here. Keep going. Keep going. Put your business in place. Don't screw people over. Don't. It's room for both of y'all. Remember the overall energy, how we just got the Hierophant, right? But in this story or whatever, it was basically saying how Oshun, when he went to, when Orula went to work or whatever, his wife decided to, Oshun decided to, Orula went to work. Oshun decided to do his job for him or whatever, because I guess the clients kept coming or whatever. You can't do what your husband do, and your husband can't do what you do. Both of y'all deserve interdependence. And I don't know why I say husband, because I don't know what I'm talking to you about. But you can't do what your business partners can do, and they can't do what you can do. Own your positions. Own who you are. Long as you know who you are, you're studying, you stand to yourself, work on it. Like, don't be afraid to be the person in the Nine of Swords who actually did close their doors and didn't come outside. You don't have to be him. Coming out boldly. Going to catch swords. You don't gotta be like nobody else. Your goal in this whole situation is to stay abundant in what you already doing. Focus abundance and have a clear mind, and keep your words and your positive image and your positive energy of yourself and who you plan on being high, and push on to the next person that you actually supposed to be being. Make sure that you're doing the work for you to get to the next step. Make sure that you're building the team. Make sure you're consorting with those people. Make sure you're consorting with God. Make sure you're keeping God first in all of this. It seems to me an energy of somebody that's actually spending a lot of time with themselves, working on things, and not building, and make sure you checking on your team too, because your team love you, and they actually are here for you. I could tell, because you look at how, remember I told you this card has a lot of color on it, and so does the outcome card. But look at how the middle cards is you isolating yourself a lot, because you got this person by himself outside going to collect goddamn swords, not the just the money, going for both. And you got this person showing that you already collected the swords and the money and you ready to go on up there with the hill. But it's, I mean, the ready to go consort with God. I mean, go work with the, you know, be in the energy of ceremony. But you're not allowing yourself to make sure that you got your protection and your team in place. Reach out to your friends. You're going to need them. It was something that was said in the Wheel of Fortune that made me say that. Let me go back to that. Here we go. And stay innovative. Something about the Wheel of Fortune is telling you to stay innovative. Like, make sure that you keep like changing, like evolve your product. Like, don't keep everything the same. Make sure you keep growing with your brand and make sure you keep evolving into what you need this to grow into. That's all I got for y'all, cadets. That is my reading. I think that this is a beautiful reading. Y'all who watch it, it was meant for you. You deserve that. I'm giving you the biggest salute. Big salute. Big salute. I need you to get a big salute for this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you made it all the way to the end. Oh, it says that you should pick up during the reading. It told me to definitely, when I was reading the Hermit card, what came to me was to make sure that you make sure you check in on your mentors. And make sure that you keep them in place because you still gonna need their knowledge and stuff. And also something just told me that eventually you might even become their mentor as you grow. So they gonna need you too, just like you needed them. So make sure that you keep your mentorships. Make sure you keep healthy relationships with the people who help you actually climb the wall. Because that wall was crazy. I know it was. If you got swords falling from the sky and they talking about people going to collect swords and the death card on the bottom, this rebirth. Oh, man. Yeah, forward this in there. Be stingy in your energy. Be stingy with your energy, but make sure you share it with the right people because there's people out here that really got your back. All right, y'all. I'm about to come back with the Pisces read for my gang. Peace, y'all. Pretty militia. Big salute. I love y'all.